Good afternoon, my friends. This is Christy coming at you from the heartland, the Kansas City area of the United States. Right now, I'm in my office in Prairie Village, Kansas, but I live on the Missouri side in Kansas City, Missouri. It's kind of one of these weird places it's a city divided in between two states. It's like we got a butt cheek on each chair. You know what I mean? Anyway, coming to you live with a card reading for today. And, I've started doing these fairly regular readings again. And it's interesting because my mind is always on what's going on in this, not just this country, but in the world, this growing divide between people who want authoritarianism and people who really want democracy, people who think that there are people that don't belong, you should boot them all out, and people who say, hey, we need to accept everyone, even people we don't like, we got to accept them. So I'm seeing this growing divide, and it's really weird. So that has been coming up in my readings a lot lately, maybe because that's where my head is. However, I've been watching some of these other channels, and not just here on YouTube, but on Facebook and Instagram as well, who are talking about the same thing about this shift that we're seeing here in the United States. We've been talking about this shift for a long time. The shift is going to hit the fan, right? The shift hits the fan. Okay. But we're in the thick of it right now. And Spirit's been saying, hey, we need to talk more about this. So I'd been holding back just a little bit. If you could tell, probably not, because I don't want to get into politics, but I want to get into energies, the energies of these two very different groups of people. So I think that's what is going to come up today too. So I've got Jasper. This is the green Jasper pendulum. I'm one of these anthropomorphic people. I name things like inanimate objects. And so this is Jasper. Say hello, Jasper. And I'm going to let Jasper help pick a deck of cards. All right. So what I like to do is get him swinging a little bit, just start his movement. And then, well, do I have permission to ask Jasper? Okay. I always have to ask permission. That's just the rules. I don't know. All right. And I'm going to go over each card deck and see which one Jasper likes. What do we need to talk about today, Jasper? Ooh, big ol' yes on Ascended Masters. Let's see if there's any others. Let me put this right next to me. Are there any others? Do we want to do Crystal Angels? Do we want to do Literary Witches? These are all just different card decks that I have. Life Purpose, Past. Ooh, and we want to do Past Life. That's interesting. That's interesting. And Angel Therapy. Nope. And Work Your Light. Nope. All right. We've got two card decks to work with today. This will be fun. I also want to give a shout out to those people who have subscribed to our channel. We appreciate it so much. And I've noticed since doing these card readings that our numbers have really grown on this channel. So I appreciate it. We've also done some things like creating thumbnails for most of the videos and boosting keyword search, and I mean that kind of thing. That helps too. But it's you guys who are making this channel grow. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, what's cool about this channel growing is one of our podcasts is on, well, two of our podcasts are on this channel, the Radiate Wellness podcast, which you should listen to and subscribe, please, and the Real Life Angel Encounters podcast. Real Life Angel Encounters is exactly what the name implies. It is people telling their real stories of real angelic encounters. You can think of it like the positive paranormal. This is actually, the show is influenced by Jim Harold. You might know Jim Harold. He's the OG of the paranormal podcasting. And Jim has the virtual campfire. So it's a Jim Harold campfire podcast where people call in and tell their spooky stories. I love that show, but I wanted positive stories. So let me know your positive stories. All right. You know what? I'm going to put some information in the show notes for that podcast. If you've got a story to share, please fill out the form and I'll see it and read it and maybe invite you onto the show to talk about it with me. All right. And also, can I announce this yet? Can I announce it yet? I'm not going to announce it yet until I've got like more concrete news, but I've got a really big announcement, really big one. And I hope you'll like it. All right, so I did the Ascended Master cards. Now, if you're not familiar with Ascended Masters, they are folks like Jesus, Yogananda, Buddha, or Siddhartha Gautama, the first Buddha, Apollo. There's just like they're not necessarily deities. Many of them have been human. Some of them are deities, like Athena, Pallas Athena, and Apollo, and Lu, who's one of my guides, Lu, the Celtic sun god. And Ascended Masters work with humanity just in helping us in so many different ways. So let's see what they have to say here. Okay. Ooh, interesting. Twin flame. Angus is a Celtic deity. And a twin flame, this is going to be interesting because I'm not quite sure where they're going with this. Where are you going with this, Spirit? I have no idea. And the twin flame is basically a soul that's got two parts to it. I mean, that's a really simplistic type of thing. We tend to think of twin flames as being romantic. They're not. Hmm. This seems to be a polyamory type of situation here. So we tend to think of twin flames being romantic, like there's a man and a woman, or two men or two women who feel like their souls are connected. If you've ever read Wuthering Heights, which a beautiful book by one of the Bronte sisters, beautiful book. One of the characters is a woman and another character is a man, and they've got this long tortured love affair thing going on. And Kathy finally says, whatever souls are made of, Heathcliff and I are the same. And that's kind of the feeling of a twin flame. They are intensely close soul relationships. Now, they don't always go smoothly. You know, think about somebody who's very much like you, so much like you that it irritates you. That's kind of a twin flame, or it can be. Sometimes they work out great. What Spirit is telling me, this is more of a polyamory situation where it's our country and all the people in it are the two entities in this thing. So it's like, think of like the whole country united with the soul of the country, and things are not going smoothly right now. Things are going the way they need to be, but they're not necessarily going smoothly right now. What is it that Shakespeare said? The course of true love never did run smooth. I don't know. I'm going to butcher that. So twin flame, interesting. And it's a love affair with the country, which I definitely feel. I love my country. I really do and always have. Very patriotic. Now, this is going to be interesting. I took a peek. Balance, career, and home life. Now, if these cards resonate for you in particular, and they're starting to resonate with me on a personal level, which I'm not going to get into, if they resonate with you on a personal level, that's wonderful. I am looking at the bigger picture. So take from it what you will. If you see a personal interpretation, that's awesome. Maybe leave me a note in the comments about that. I love to hear from people about how they interact with these readings. So balance, and this is Isis. Remember, Isis was a queen. She was a deity who married her brother. So there's like, and she was like queen. So there's the career, and then the home life is marrying your brother and giving birth to your nieces and nephews. And I don't know, it gets a little complex there. Balance, career, and home life. As we are looking at all of the changes, and this is Spirit telling me this, as we're looking through all of the changes that are coming up right now, so many Americans are rightfully outraged, indignant, fearful. There are record numbers of people turning out on the street to protest, showing up at their elected officials' offices, and calling their elected officials. Record number. There are thousands and thousands of calls going into our senators and our congresspeople's phone lines every minute. It used to be 40 to 60 a minute. Now there are reports that 1,400 to 1,600 calls per minute. Per minute. So there is a backlash like never seen before. People are getting active. They are becoming active. They are becoming activists, but it's necessary to keep a balance. We've got to balance our head and our heart in this. Yes, things need to stop course the way that they're going with all these people being fired when there were not enough jobs to go around before that. Yes, unemployment is one of the lowest numbers that we've had in a long time, but there's still a lot of unemployment. And we're adding to those numbers. It's not helping our economy, not even one little bit. So we've got to keep a balance here. We've got to maintain our groundedness. So getting grounded, maintaining our heart, keeping our heart open, and balance this activism, this working toward a better future, working to change the way things are going right now, and balance that with what we have at home. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Don't throw your baby out at all. But like, stay engaged with the family and your circle of friends while you're doing this. We can chew gum and walk at the same time. So keep that balance so that you can keep it together. Because I know you love your country. And then we've got, oh, you cannot make this up. You cannot make this up. Kuthumi, stay focused. Look at those eyes. Look how focused those eyes are. Stay focused. Stay focused. If you've been calling your senators and your congresspeople, keep it up. Stay focused, but maintain this balance for yourself. Don't get lost in it because you can easily get lost. And now's not the time for that. All right. Now, I'm going to real quick do the past life cards, which surprised me that Spirit wanted to use these guys. But then again, they can also be used as general purpose cards, which I do often. So if Spirit wants to use these cards with an individual, we can look at them in a couple of different ways. So one is like other lifetimes that we've lived, or it can be like, what have we taken away from another lifetime that we're still dealing with in the current lifetime? And they can also just tell a story. Let's see what we got. So I shuffled, I cut the cards into 3 piles. Now I'm going to do 3 cards. You can do it any way you want to. This is the way that I do it and the way I teach. All right, got 3 cards. What do they want to tell us? Oh, for Pete's sake, wars and battles. Oh, yes, we're in the thick of it right now. Now, I and others have been saying for a while that it's going to get worse before it gets better. We're feeling the tide shift, but my God, we're seeing people getting drug out bodily from town hall meetings, drug out bodily. And, neighbors against neighbors, parents against children, children against parents. It's crazy out there. So that's something that we've got to work on and work through. Next, we've got, but we gain wisdom. People who came up in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, myself included, I was born in 1964. And we saw Nazism. Now, I didn't personally, but that generation came up with, it's like, oh my God, Nazism. Where did this come from? This is something new and different. And they didn't know, they didn't have that benefit of hindsight to teach them. We do. We can look at what's going on and go, whoa, we've been through this before and it doesn't end well. So we've gained that wisdom. Maintain this focus on your wisdom. Follow people who are writing about this. Follow people who are researching this and who are looking at the history and who are studying mindsets and what's going on. That's our wisdom part. And then finally, we've got, return to nature. Return to nature. I think when the smoke clears, we are going to go back to simpler times. And there are so many people talking about growing their own food now, which I've always had a garden. And now, have I ever been a great gardener? No. Some years I'll have a lot from the garden, some years, not much at all. But, it's time to start thinking about planting your garden and talk about growing your food. Like I've got a big container full of potatoes on my deck that are growing and chives and onions and it's time to start thinking about planting the garden. And just that return to nature, return to a little bit more simplistic times and growing your own food, things like that. Stewarding your land. Always a good idea. God, you know what? I had a QHHT appointment today. This is a specialized type of hypnosis that I do here in my office. And this client was actually in tears because she saw herself walking the gravel road outside of her property and it's foggy and she's just enjoying being in the nature and the dampness and the coziness of the fog, seeing the little flowers along the path, seeing the trees in the distance kind of shrouded with the fog. She was crying because she said the earth loves us and I love it. And that's what this is talking about. We need to be stewards of the earth because we're really just parasites on it. We need to take care of it and it will take care of us. So, anyway, take with all of this what you will, exciting times that we're in, and do what you can do. Don't make yourself crazy with it. Take some time to gain the wisdom of it. Keep your head about you and power on. Power on. I love you guys. I really, really do. Drop a comment. Please subscribe to this channel. That'd be awesome. If you want to share these videos, please do. See you later.